Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I know. I'm excited to be back. I got a few things I want to talk about, but other than that, not really going to be the longest video. A quick hitter. We're going to probably record a little later, like an actual pod. So like, yeah. It's going to be a lot longer than this, just so y'all know. But real quick, some things I saw around the league. There's some buzz that around the NBA that Giannis does not want to play with a ball dominant guard. I'm going to look in the camera and say this. I don't care. I don't care, Giannis. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I've gotten to that point after the trade deadline, after this entire season and off season with him just like basically dipping his toe in and then dipping it back out and doing all this stuff when it comes to like being with the Bucks or not with the Bucks. Like he's just so indecisive with it. I don't care. I'm not here for it anymore. Stay there and rot there. I don't really care no more. You did what you had to do. Then just stay there and become a Milwaukee legend and not really contend for the rest of your career. Because that's what it's looking like. Because to be honest, I don't care. I don't care. You can't dribble, Giannis. I love Giannis. Giannis is one of my favorite players of all time. You can't dribble. So why would you want to be the ball dominant one? Set a screen. Play like Shaq. Set a screen, get in the post. Those are your strengths within a basketball court. Yes, in the fast break, a ball dominant guard is going to give the ball to Giannis no matter what because he is streaking down the court. It is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He can get from half court to the paint with 3 steps. Give him the ball. Like, it's that simple. If that's his whole complaint, then yeah, sure. But if he just wants to be the main ball handler, you're never going to win a ring again. I'm so sorry. Like, you're just not going to win a ring again. Kel Ware, coming off a game where he dropped 16, 11 rebounds, 7 blocks, 5 steals. It was against the Nets, but my God, 7 blocks, 5 steals. Oh my God, that is a defensive masterclass. I don't think have we had a game like that at all this year? He had 12 stocks. He had a 4x5. Ew, he could have had a 5x5 if he was passing the rock, but damn. Right now, the MVP ladder is Shea, Jokic, Cade, Wemby, Jaylen Brown, Luka, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, and Jalen Brunson. Reading those names, I start to remember some things I've seen during the week. One thing that I saw was Melo said that he thinks that Anthony Edwards is the best player in the NBA. And this is where I start to realize just because you played in the NBA doesn't mean you should really have an opinion on many things that have to do with the NBA. Because what are you even talking about? And I love Ant. I think he's an amazing player. I think he should be the face of the league. But that doesn't mean he's the best player in the league. Those are 2 completely different things. Point blank. Like, there's just no way that you think watching Shea consistently be the best scorer in the league, one of the best scorers this league has ever seen. You see Jokic be such a dominant triple threat player where he comes he's probably the greatest offensive engine we've ever seen other than like LeBron James. We have Cade Cunningham having one of the greatest offensive seasons out of a first-round pick in recent times. Wemby being an insane 2-way player. You have Jaylen Brown being a shock. And I know it's not shocking because he's won a Finals MVP and things like that. But a lot of people still didn't really respect him as a player until this season. Luka averaging the most points in the league, becoming way more efficient as the season goes on because, he gets into season shape like how most players do. And another thing, when people were mad at what's his name? People were mad at Zion because they said that he was getting into season shape. No, because he said he gets into shape during the season, which is what every NBA player does. You cannot get into NBA season shape during the offseason. Just impossible, no matter what you do. Man, also, he's dealt with lower body injuries his entire career. How is he going to get in shape if he literally can't run, can barely walk, he can't move? So, y'all just want a reason to not like this man. But my MVP, I said in my last video, is Cade Cunningham. I think he's the best player in the league pretty easily. Not easily, but I feel fatigued for that current run at the top 2. So I guess I just really want a new person to be there, and that's Cade. But also, I think Cade is having an insane season, one of the best guard seasons in recent history because. No, I can't even say that. I'm not going to lie, but he's having a great year for sure. The Warriors contacted the Clippers to discuss a Kawhi Leonard trade. I love Kawhi Leonard this season. He has been one of the best scorers in the league. He has been insane. The Clippers just suck. If you watch the Clippers, Kawhi is a dominant player. I cannot stress enough how good Kawhi Leonard is at this point of his career. Because This shit is like, if you saw him as a rookie and you saw him at San Diego State, you would never think for a second that he would be the type of scorer that he is at any point of his career. But right now, this is probably the best version of Kawhi Leonard on the offensive side of the ball. He can do everything. He can genuinely do everything. I understand you might be thinking he's not as athletic as past years. Doesn't matter. He's never really relied on athleticism in his offensive game. It has more so been picking his spots, getting to his zones, and making his shots. That's what he does. His post fade is better than it ever has been. His 3-point shot is definitely better than it ever has been. His his finishing ability is still there. Just like his tough shot making is at a level that I don't think I've ever seen Kawhi be able to make shots at, except for probably 2019, that 1 year with Toronto. Like, that's genuinely it, which is crazy, but it's the truth. And like, when you think about that one season in Toronto, you really start to understand the context of the year and the years before that, and you're like, wow, he really like proved everybody wrong, because he came into that season after having such low PR with his family and just everybody because of how things in San Antonio boiled down, and then he goes to Toronto and just takes over, wins the championship, and has one of the best 1 year runs of all time. Like, at that point, people were looking at Kawhi like, oh yeah, I don't care about Kawhi anymore. Look at what he did. He missed the whole season and he was being a diva, blah blah blah. Like, they were on his head. Just for him to really come back on some other, like, he came back different that next year. But right now, he's looking just like that type of Kawhi. If he was able to stay healthy with this team, him, Darius Garland, John Collins, they have a few good pieces, but to be honest, they sold a lot at the deadline. If they didn't sell as much as they did at the deadline, still had somebody like Zubac on that team, they'd be threatening in the West. They could be threatening in the West, but I don't think they can really make noise anymore, to be real with you. Let me see what else. Anthony Edwards says he has no issue with Stephen Curry being named an all-star starter over him. First of all, I've said this for like hundreds of years. Being an all-star starter or bench player has never mattered, because you're an all-star. That's just what like on your at the end of your career, it's not going to say all-star starter, all-star reserve. It's just going to say all-star. That's it. So who cares? Why should we care? Why do we force ourselves to care about who's a starter and who's coming off the bench every year? It doesn't matter. It will never matter, because at the end of the day, when they retire, it's going to say 8-time All-Star, 12-time All-Star. It's not going to say 4-time All-Star starter, 3-time All-Star reserve, 1-time All-Star blah. Like, it doesn't matter. That it never will matter. It's the All-Star game. It's not an actual like season, like it's not an actual team that is built for the entire season. So who really even cares? I got some more. And he also called Steph Curry the greatest point guard of all time. Yeah. Victor Wembanyama on facing the Pistons and the Clippers. One of the best games I've been a part of in my life. Best 30 hours of basketball in my life. So I believe he had a back-to-back over the last 2 days. I believe they played a back-to-back. Yep, they played the Pistons, and then they played the Clippers, and they won both of those games. Wemby in those games. Let's see. The first game against the Pistons, he dropped 38, 16, 3 with 5 blocks. Great efficiency, 4 for 10 from 3, and they beat the Pistons. But it was actually a closer game than the numbers will tell you. I'm not going to lie. The Pistons did start to get back into it in the third quarter, but the Spurs started to take over in the fourth again. The Clippers and the Spurs played yesterday, and it was a 4-point game. Kawhi had 30, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals on 50% from the field. Wow. Wemby had 27, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 1 assist. Great efficiency again, and they win the game. And he did not play as many minutes in this game because they're coming off a back-to-back. They didn't want him to get hurt, so obviously he didn't really he didn't get that much run in this game in comparison to the other one. He only played 22 minutes and he got those numbers, which is insanity, like genuinely insanity that you can do that. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad about him winning MVP. I'll be honest. I would not be mad at Wemby for winning MVP. He turned this team around, and I'm not saying it's only him, but he is the obvious catalyst to this turnaround that the Spurs have had over the last 2 years. Last year, they had some really competitive games, and then this year, they have been the second best team in the league. Like, they have been the second best team in the league by far. So I would have no problem with them like winning or like him winning MVP, but he's definitely going to win DPOY. So it just depends on what the voters think, because to be honest, the awards is less about who the player is and what their team is able to accomplish. It is more so what the award, or like what winning the award would entail for the people, if you know what I mean. And this is something we're going to talk about more on the podcast probably, but after 300 days, Jayson Tatum came back and he dropped 16, 12, and 7, I believe. 15, 12, and 7, something like that. Great game for like a comeback after such a major injury, but I'm not saying I'm not going to go that much in depth, because like I said, we're going to talk about it in the pod, but I'm not saying that I am against him coming back. I'm saying that I don't think he had to come back at such short notice. He could have really just came back closer to the playoffs, got like a 10-game streak of just like getting his body ready for playoff play, rather than having this sort of like earlier comeback and kind of, I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't want him to get hurt again, because I love Jayson Tatum as a player. I think he's a great player, and I have no real like animosity towards him. So I don't want him to get hurt again. Like, I think he should have been more precautionary with what he's doing, because he did tear his Achilles. Like, at the end of the day, he tore his Achilles, bro. I don't know if he's ready or not, for real. He might not be 100%, which you could say that after tearing an Achilles, you're never at 100%, but also, like, you could get pretty close to it. I hope he doesn't get injured, though. The Celtics, I see them being... Are they better than the Pistons right now? It's close, because the Pistons, I understand people want to say the Celtics immediately because of their pedigree. They've won a championship in the last 3 years, things like that. But at the end of the day, the Pistons look absolutely insane. So I have no reason to truly come here and say, oh, I think the Celtics are automatically the favorites in the East. My fault. I keep looking up here because I'm graying. Like, I'm getting grays, bro. What is going on? Like, man, I'm only 22. Shit. But, what was I saying? I'm not just going to give the Celtics the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not saying that like they're a bad team. They are a good, rarely good team, but I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt just because Jayson Tatum is back. Because if we just go back to last year, they lost with Jayson Tatum being in the lineup. Like, that's just the simple fact of it all. But I'm really, really interested to see, because we have, let me see the top 3 in the East, because the Knicks, I understand they won the last game. They won their last game. They've been on a kind of like a better streak recently. They've been very disappointing to a lot of people, including me, when it comes to their seeding in the East. The Pistons took over the spot, while the Knicks were like touted to be the team that's supposed to take over. But the top 4 in the East are really close. It's the Cavs, Knicks, Celtics. Not really the top 3. The Celtics are behind the Pistons by 4 games. So the Knicks, Celtics, and Cavs are all within 3 games. I want to see how that ends up, because that could really matter when it comes to their series, especially if you consider like the TD Garden and Madison Square Garden. Like, those 2 places are like, I mean, all 3 of them are really good for home court advantage, and they're all on really good like win streaks recently. So I'm intrigued by this. I'm very excited by this. The East is looking a lot more exciting with Jayson Tatum back, so I will give him respect, and I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm really excited for the playoffs. But once again, I will see y'all next time, which will be very, very soon. Peace.